Hi there and welcome to TechSplash. My name is Azam, and in this video I'm going to walk you through 7 methods that you can use to improve or speed up your internet connection on Windows 11. That being said, these methods should also for the most part work on Windows 10. This video should address and resolve any problems with your wireless network adapter, any slowdowns that you experience because of internet connectivity issues, and high ping or packet loss that you experience while gaming, watching videos, or just browsing. Please note that this is one of the very first videos on the TechSplash channel, and it may be a bumpy ride, so please just bear with me. That being said, let's dive straight into the video. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is test your internet connection. So what you're going to want to do is go to a web browser. I'm using Firefox. Just going to drag that over. Here is Firefox, and in the text box, I will just type in speedtest.net. If I can type. You can also use fast.com. It automatically detects your server. You can change it if you like, but it doesn't really make a difference. This should be your internet provider. If it's not, that means you have a VPN or something on. And what you're going to want to do is just hit go. It will test your internet speed. Your ping should be a relatively low number. All of these numbers should be relatively low, but this number should be high. 10 is really low. I need to follow this guide myself. Okay, so around 11.68 is my download speed. What the? Okay, well, as you can see, I have really slow Wi-Fi, and I personally need this guide. We should definitely get into it as fast as possible. The first method in fixing your internet connection is on your keyboard. You're going to want to hold Control, Shift, and Escape keys all at the same time, and it opens up the task manager. If this doesn't work for you, you can also just right click on your taskbar, and task manager is the only option. Just hit that, and it opens up the task manager. I don't know why it's so slow. I don't know why it's so small, but we can open it up a little. And here we have the task manager. It should look something like this, with all of your open apps up here, and then all of your background processes down here. And this is in the processes tab, just to confirm. And what you're going to want to do is head straight up to this button right here. It says 0% network, but I don't know if that's true. Just hit on that, and you can see that Steam is using a lot of Wi-Fi, a lot of megabit per second. You might be wondering why. Well, if you open up this application, whatever is using your internet, you can see that there is a download happening right now, and that is why your internet speed might be really low, because background processes are running at the same time as whatever you're trying to do. This could be a Windows update, this could be any game download, any other sort of update, a driver update, that sort of thing. So if you go back to the task manager, you can hit this and hit end task. You might be saying to yourself, well, I didn't open this application. Why is it using my internet? Well, that might be because it is in your startup apps. Go to startup apps. You can go to each of these apps and disable them. As you can see, Steam is enabled and its startup impact is high, which means it'll slow down your computer. It will use a lot of internet, a lot of resources. So you can just go ahead and disable it. You can do that for any of these. And what that will do is stop it from running when you start up your computer. That will speed up the time it takes to get into Windows, and it will also limit the amount of Wi-Fi that is being used upon startup. And even after startup, if you have games downloading, drivers updating, that sort of thing, you want to disable it. That is it for the first method. Okay, so for the next method, what you're going to want to do is change your Wi-Fi adapter settings. The way you're going to do this is by hitting the Windows button, going to the text box and searching for View Network Connections. It should pop up just like that. Hit enter, and you will be met with this page on the Windows control panel. Now, as you can see, I have 2 Wi-Fi adapters, and one of my Wi-Fi adapters is disabled because that one came with my motherboard and it is just really crappy. My other adapter, which I got after the fact, is a TP-Link wireless USB adapter. And what you're going to want to do is right click on it, go to properties, and go to configure. Then you're going to be met with a box like this. Go to power management and make sure this is disabled. Allow the computer to turn off this device to save power. Make sure that is disabled. Now you're going to want to go to advanced, and you're going to be met with a lot of confusing settings here. What you're going to want to do is search up each of these, research them, and select the right value. The reason I say this is because every single person's wireless adapters settings are different. Like, these are very personalized for the TP-Link wireless USB adapter, and there are very few settings that I would change here. However, for example, if we went to my older crappy Wi-Fi adapter, we can go to properties, configure, we can go to advanced at the top here, and there are a lot more settings here. That is because this Wi-Fi adapter is different. It allows more customizability, but overall it's quite crappy. Now what we're going to do is, again, go through all these settings, research them, change them, make sure they are the right ones, because they are not automatically configured for the best Wi-Fi. For example, one of the settings I would like to change on this one is the MIMO power save mode. It's probably going to be be on auto SMPS, but you're going to want to change it to no SMPS. You want to get rid of the power save mode because it will limit your Wi-Fi connection. Another one is packet coalescing. If you are experiencing problems and it's on disabled, try enabling it. If it's on enabled, try disabling it. Both of these could work. I prefer it being enabled. For the preferred band, it depends on if you're close to your router or if you are far. If you are far, you should probably prefer the 2.4 gigahertz band and just connect to that. But if you are relatively close to your router, you should probably select the 5 gigahertz band, which will give you way faster speeds. If you're really not sure, select no preference, and then your PC should automatically check. If you have a problem with your wireless adapter constantly switching between Wi-Fi networks, then go to roaming aggressiveness over here and hit lowest. Another setting I would like to change is throughput booster. If it's on disabled, try enabling it. However, a lot of people say that disabled provides better results, so if it's currently enabled, try disabling it. But for me, enabled works a lot better. One more setting that I would suggest you make sure is correct is go to transmit power over here, and then for the value, hit highest, and that is it. Again, this is just one Wi-Fi adapter. Yours might have a lot more customizability, so go research all the settings you have and select the best ones. Once you're done with that, hit OK, and you will be done with that method. However, the next method also involves this page, so do not close this just yet. So for the third method, what you're going to want to do is, again, go to your active Wi-Fi adapter, hit properties, and this time what you're going to want to do is go to Internet Protocol version 4. Hit that and double click on it. Once this opens up, ignore the IP address portion and head straight to the DNS version. You can see currently I have a DNS, but what you will see when you first open this is this: obtain DNS server address automatically. So what you're going to want to do is change it to use the following DNS server addresses, and there are multiple options for you. Google's DNS address is 8.8.8.8, and the alternate is 8.8.4.4. And this works well for most people, but it might not work well for you, and there might be a faster option for you. My personal favorite is Cloudflare's Open DNS server, which is 1.1.1.1, and the alternate is 1.0.0.1. I like this server a lot because it works well for me. That being said, if you don't have luck with either of these, you can Google your city and Google the best DNS server for your city and try that, test your internet speed. Once you've selected a DNS server that you prefer, hit validate settings upon exit. That's really important, and then hit OK and OK again. That setting is going to troubleshoot the internet as soon as we hit OK. So a troubleshooter should pop up, and it couldn't identify the problem, which just means there are no problems. Close the troubleshooter, and you can close this page because we are done with this for the next method. Okay, so the next method involves changing Windows privacy settings. So what you're going to want to do is head to the Windows button, type in settings. Next, you're going to want to go to privacy and security on the left side, and you're going to want to start with general. So you're going to want to disable all of these. Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. If you read this, these are really stupid things that you really don't need to have enabled, and they just use up your internet. Go back, go to speech, disable this as well. Go back. Inking and typing, turn that off as well. Go back. Diagnostic and feedback. This one uses a lot of your bandwidth. Turn this off. It should be off. This should be off, and this should also be off. You should set this drop down to never. It will keep asking for your feedback, and if you have some privacy concerns, you can ask that they delete your diagnostic data, and it will send a request to Microsoft to delete your data. Next, go down to activity history. Turn this off. If you want it to stop storing activity, that will use up some of your resources. And that should be it for this method. Okay, so the next method involves the group policy editor. What you can do is right click on the Windows button and hit run. Now it'll open this little dialog box. You're going to want to type in gpedit, gpedit.ms. hit enter, and it will open up this little box, this little settings thing. It might look a little intimidating, but I'm telling you, there's nothing to worry about. So you're going to start by going on to computer for configuration, double clicking, go to administrative templates, double click, go to network, then hit QoS packet scheduler, double click, and then you're going to want to go to limit reservable bandwidth. Now, when you open this, it'll probably say not configured, and that's it. That's not good because Windows might be limiting your bandwidth. So what you're going to want to do is hit enabled, and this will say 80. You don't want it to be 80. You want it to be 0. And that doesn't mean 0% bandwidth. That means that it is unlimited bandwidth so that you don't get limited by Windows in any way whatsoever. Hit apply, hit OK, and you can just simply close out of this. That's it for that method. Okay, so for the next method, you're going to want to go to your web browser and type in TCP Optimizer. This is an application that will allow you to change advanced settings in your Wi-Fi adapter, and I use it personally, and it seems to work to speed up my internet connection, just to make sure it's not being limited by Windows in any way whatsoever. Once you're on the website, hit TCP Optimizer 4. Once you hit this, it should start downloading TCP Optimizer. I already have it. You can go ahead and install it. What you're going to want to do after it's installed is hit the Windows button, type in TCP Optimizer, and then you're going to want to run it as administrator. If you open it without running it as administrator, it won't let you change the settings, and then you'll be stuck. So then you're going to have to close it and reopen it as administrator. So just run it as an administrator the first time. You'll get a little box, okay, and you just wait for it to load up. Okay, once you're loaded in, what you're going to want to do is go down here and hit custom, and now you will be able to edit all of these settings. And then this, you're going to start with this slider, and you're going to drag it all the way across to 100 plus Mbps, because that will allow you to get the most out of your Wi-Fi adapter. It will not limit your Wi-Fi at all. Next, you're going to select your active network adapter. Mine is a TP-Link, and then you want to have modify all network adapters checked, just in case you change your Wi-Fi adapter in the future. You won't have to do this again. So now for the settings, what you're going to want to do is make sure TCP window auto tuning is normal, Windows scaling heuristics is disabled, congestion control provider is on CTCP, receive side scaling is enabled, R segment coalescing is also enabled. Next, you're going to want to adjust your time to live, make it 64, ECN capability disabled, checksum offloading disabled, TCP chimney offload disabled, large send offload disabled, and TCP 1323 disabled. All of these should be disabled. Apply changes, okay, and just wait for these changes to be applied. It will say some registry changes may require a reboot to take effect. Would you like to reboot now? Hit no, because we will be rebooting after the fact. Next, you're going to want to go to advanced settings tab at the top. You're going to want to change max connections per 1 server. You're going to make that 10. Max connections per server, also make that 10. For local priority, you're going to make that 4. Host priority 5. DNS priority 6. And then net BT priority 7. After that, max in retransmissions should be equal to 2. Non-SAC RTT resiliency should be disabled. Initial RTO should be 2000. Minimal RTO should be 300. QoS non-best effort limit should be equal to 0. QoS not use NLA should be optimal 1. Network throttling index should be disabled FFFFFF. System responsiveness should be gaming 0. TCP ACK frequency should be disabled 1. TCP no delay should be enabled 1. TCP del ACK ticks should be disabled 0. Large system cache should be default. Size should also be default 1. Max user port should be 65534. And then TCP timed wait delay should be 30. And that is it. Hit apply changes. Okay. Now wait for it to apply. And again, you will be met with, would you like to reboot now? Hit no. So that's it for this method, and you can close out of this application. Okay, so for the last method, what you're going to want to do is go to the Windows terminal if you're in Windows 11, or the Windows command prompt if you are on Windows 10. To access the Windows terminal, you're going to right click on the start menu, and then it terminal admin. If you don't see terminal or terminal admin and you just see command prompt or something like that, just go hit the Windows button, type in terminal, and you should right click on this and then run as administrator. After hitting yes, the terminal should open and you will be met with essentially the command prompt. Now we will be typing various commands in here that should fix any issues to do with our Wi-Fi connection and speed up our Wi-Fi connection in general. And this may seem daunting, but I will be going through each step. Okay, so the first command will be ipconfig /release. Just type that in, hit enter. You will see a bunch of this stuff. If you run into any errors, try running it again. If you still run into errors, then there may be a problem with your Wi-Fi adapter. The next one you want to type in is ipconfig /renew and then hit enter. It might take a second. It's working and it it should have worked. It resetted your IP address. It should be much faster now. The next thing you're going to want to do is flush the DNS. So what you're going to want to do is type in ipconfig again, /flush DNS, all one word, flush DNS. Successfully flushed the DNS resolver cache. That was pretty fast. The next one is netsh winsock reset and hit enter, and you'll see it successfully reset the winsock catalog. You must restart the computer in order to complete the reset. Now what you're going to want to do is close this and then head down to the Windows start menu, hit the power button and restart. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video or got any sort of value from it, please hit the like button, and thank you for watching this video, and I will see you later.